Hello everyone, hello and welcome to the Dancing Rainbow. So my name is Dale and I am part of the Healing Path, and this is the third show we have for the Dancing Rainbow. So it's an absolute honour to share this space with you. So just bringing yourself into the space wherever you are, feeling comfortable, feeling ready to go within and learn about ourselves. So I've just had, and we all have had, the spring equinox period for everyone. So for me, I have personally been doing, I'm just going to plug my charger in. So I've been doing my fire ceremonies over the spring equinox. On the day, it was very special. I had some morning clearing meditation where I was getting myself ready and I was sending some treatment forward to myself for the ceremony I was having on the evening of the day. So I did stillness work in the morning and I met up with my friend Craig and we went to a forest which we've never been before. And we went into this forest and we found this outstanding place. So the trees were very old, a few hundred years old. They were really huge, old, powerful trees. And there was a clearing in this circle of trees, and the rest was a forest. And there was these really, so most of the trees in the forest were pines, but then there was a certain bit which we found which was really old, different species of trees. So we found this clearing of this circle, and I could really feel some sacred energy in there. I could really feel some potent power from the land. So we decided to have a fire ceremony. I had my crystal skull, and it was placed on an altar which was perfect, this cut down tree. So we put the crystal skull on the altar, put the sage there, and we called in the space, we saged each other, we honoured each other with our prayers and thanks and gratefulness for being here, for being human. And we began the ceremony with protecting the space. We did some rattling, journeying, some drumming as well. So for me, what I got out of that ceremony, words really can't describe what I got from the ceremony. It was an infinite, and our human linguistics, it's hard to pick up the meanings and how everything was for me, but it was outstanding. And I was shown the coyote as well, which for me is a very big animal totem of mine. Coyote means a trickster, so it's always remembering to laugh, always remembering not to take things serious, and always having a view which can change, and always having a belief system which is open for changing. So the coyote can trick us, or the world can trick us into believing one thing, but then we find out the truth that it's another thing. So the coyote for me was all about teaching and learning about being present in the body and allowing change, allowing myself to change as well, and not getting stuck into my ruts and patterns and cycles of which I do things over again. I always make sure I am doing new things, doing new inner works, techniques, meeting new people, because that's so important in the great universe. I had a talking stick show with Nalini Diasera and Kelly Nicholson the other day, and we talked about source connection and how important it is knowing that we are connected to the Creator at all times. And when we go on these journeys of darkness, these journeys of fear, these journeys of paranoia, we get disconnected from source. And for me, it's all about having that discipline, having that awareness where you have some sort of process of doing work on yourself where you can remember you are connected to source, and it's just about remembering that we are. So we talked about source connection and how to reach source connection through music, through singing, through dancing. There's so many different ways to do it. For me, I love doing stillness meditations and being able to go into a space where I am connected to everything. And for me, dancing as well is a great expression. Fire ceremonies, drumming, rattling, because it helps me understand that I am a spiritual being. I have spiritual needs, and it really helps me become more balanced on my journey. So spring for me as well, I've been doing a cleanse in a sense. I've been doing something called a product called Colorex, which is candida removal. So every spring I do my candida cleanse where I take this plant medicine from New Zealand, Horipisco, I think the name is. If you want to look up the product, it's called Colorex, so it's K Olerex, and it's one of the only things out there that can actually fully get rid of candida. So if you're listening and you suffer from candida, yeast in the private areas or yeast inside, which so many people do have candida because of the breads we eat, the sugar we eat, we naturally produce candida. And if we eat too much sugar or too much bread, we can get overworked with candida and it can go into fibromyalgia, so on and so forth. So I'd highly recommend, if you've never done any candida cleansing, do that, because it's such a great honor to clear that space, because the candida is connected to your gut and 80% of your immune system is in your gut, and your dreaming body is in your gut as well. So when you go out and dream before you go to sleep, your energy chakras, kundalini, they all go into a flowering system and they go into the gut area. So just below the belly button, say 2 inches, is where the dreaming body is. So the more you clear out your gut, the more you make yourself aware of clearing out your gut and purging the crap, purging the trauma, because our gut can get stuck with trauma. So if we've suffered from things in the past, we put mucus into the gut, we put memories into the gut. So if anybody feels like they are very bloated or they have a lot of stuckness in their gut area or their stomach, I'd really highly recommend doing a colon cleanse, some sort of hydrotherapy, and doing it often, maybe doing it once a year, where you have 6 sessions back to back of colonics and really go deeply into that gut area. And if you are not remembering your dreams and you are not able to remember anything at all, this is something you really need to change and look into. So before you go to bed, telling yourself, I now choose to dream, I choose to remember my dreams when I wake up, because a lot of people forget they are connected to the dreams at all times, and their dreams are so important. So it's about reprogramming, rewiring yourself so you can start remembering those dreams again. So speaking to yourself before you go to sleep, telling yourself, when I wake up, I want to remember my dreams, and even looking into doing some dream journaling as well, so you can start connecting to your dreams again. For me, I've had dreams of late which have shown me stuff which is very unbalanced in my life, past stuff which has come up for me. So I've been able to see that through my dreams. I've been doing that inner work. Like today, before this show, I've been going back to my 8-year-old self, and I've been going back there because my 8-year-old self, at some point, I had a trauma where I felt like I wasn't loved. I felt like the world hated me, the world was against me. I felt like my dad didn't love me, and so I had to go back. I went as this now being. I went back to the past, because we live in the past, present, and future simultaneously. So you can visit and talk to your past self whenever you choose. So I went into that space of stillness. I went back to that 8-year-old child and I had a conversation with the child. And I was telling him, I'm from your future, I'm here and I love you. And I am sending you my healing, and I am not taking on the energies of not feeling loved anymore. I know my father loves me, and even if he doesn't, I don't need that validation. So I started saying revocations to my 8-year-old self and telling my 8-year-old self, I'm here from the future, your future is safe, your future is set in stone, your future is certain. So I was in programming the 8-year-old self with my power, and I was telling him, we are the same, you are me and I am you. And I was saying what I don't want from the child in this now moment. I was saying I don't want to have the energies of not feeling loved, not feeling like the world cares for me, so on and so forth. So I had to really use a bit of my inner genius to really listen to my 8-year-old self, and it was beautiful speaking to him. And I could really feel that connection, that it is me, and we are part of the same wheel. So it was an absolute honor to go back there and see that. So when you start connecting to your dreams will tell you so much about you. If you're having negative dreams of nasty things happening to you all the time, there's a big indication that there has to be some life changes. There has to be an understanding of responsibility as well for where you dream, knowing that you have to protect the room, you have to protect your home, you have to do regular clearings on your home, just like you do when you clean up rubbish. You have to do that on a spiritual sense. You have to start clearing out the energy so it doesn't become stagnant. because we can suffer and have negative dreams if we have a negative space. If we're going in with anger, guilt, or shame, or anything like that, we're bringing that into the room we sleep in. So we are sleeping in that energy, and that energy becomes stagnant. So regular clearing using sage is important. On praying, telling the room you want it to be cleared, asking for help for protection as well, which is vitally important. So this equinox for me has been a big indication that going back to parts of myself when I was younger is my next stage of my journey. I've done it before, but going back in a different way and really going to as many places I can possibly go back to. And each time I do that, a part of me comes back, a part of me becomes stronger, a part of me becomes clearer, and I start doing soul retrieval from when I was younger, because we break away parts of our soul shards at times through trauma. So when you go back and do that self work and go back into those moments, you can start retrieving more of your spirit. You start having more power, so you are not able to feel as unbalanced as you were before. And this is the hardest thing for a lot of people to go back into, is because they're traumatized. They've had experiences what they don't want to go into. They think just because they're forgiven that that's the inner work done. It's about taking your time with it, going back and back and back, and keep going back to different parts or back to the same place a few times until it becomes comfortable, until you realize you are changing the past from your present moment. You are telling the past self, I'm here to change you. I'm not allowing to take on this energy anymore. So the equinox for me has given me inspiration, in a sense, for really finding different layers and layers of inner work. So many people start the spiritual path and they start to do this inner work, and it's hard for them because they figure out there's a lot of stuff they need to deal with. Everyone has lots of stuff to deal with. It's about just being and understanding how important the self-discipline, the self-nurturing, the choices are, because choices, again, is one of the biggest things for spirituality, is choice. You make the choice to do the inner work. You make the choice to go back to your past, all your child selves, and make sure you are going into those with full love and full will to want to change, allowing to forgive whoever has betrayed you in the past, not allowing them to take on your energy anymore. So for me, yeah, the equinox has been very special, celebrating with a fire ceremony and celebrating life, which is important. And if you're watching and listening and you haven't done anything for equinox, I really highly recommend you have some sort of sacred fire or some sort of ritual where you can honor this spring. You can honor yourself for being here and knowing how good it is that you've made it this far. Allowing yourself to feel victory on your journey is so important, and this is why I do ceremony. As well as the meditation, I have some sort of process of a ceremonial fire, because a ceremonial fire fills me with so much happiness and it really connects me to the infinite world. And for me, ceremony is one of the most important things for people and the human collective, if you say at the moment, that there isn't enough ceremony in there. There's different religions, different ideas of what ceremony is, but are these ceremonies actually helping the person go in themselves? Are they giving their power away to some sort of unseen aspect? Or are they really diving deep in themselves to understand that we are the masters? Everyone who is watching, you are a master. It's about learning self-mastery, and if any teacher or any person says that you can't become a master, then they are not a signature frequency match for your own healing journey. Their part of themselves will be stuck in their own ego. We have to be able to share our medicine with the world if we want the world to change. And that's something I've been reading at the moment, of being in service and understanding we are in service to the human race. And sometimes we do need to help each other. And sometimes we do need to share what we have learnt, because sharing is so important, sharing our truths and not allowing our ego to take over through power, through consent, so on and so forth. So the fire ceremony was greeted by the coyote, and the coyote was showing me the importance of the trickster and importance of laughing medicine and how important that is. And I was just there drumming, rattling, and I really felt this deep connection with the planet there. And I was drawn to do some grid work. So if you're not sure what grid work is. So grid work is basically you and someone else, or you can do it by yourself, but I recommend always doing it with someone, is you and someone else is impressing the land around you with healing, sacred geometry. So you'd set a sacred space up, you'd maybe have a fire drum, and you'd visualize, say, rainbow energy in a rainbow cloud, and you'd bring geometry into the ground. So I was drawn to doing some grid work with Craig, and we're off to Scotland in the summer solstice. So we were doing the grid work on the area, and the land spoke to me, and I was speaking to Craig through the land, what the land was sharing with us, and it was honouring us on what we were doing, and it was allowing us to understand that when we go to Scotland, we can be doing grid work on some sacred sites as we go there, and this is our responsibility. And it reminded me of us being in service for humanity. That for me, doing some grid work on sacred sites, taking my crystal skull and allowing geometry to impress the sites, to clear it. Because if you think about it, sacred sites, as well as good things what have happened, there's been a lot of negative shit what's gone on there. And if you go to a sacred site and you're very haunted, you've got depression, you're very sad, a lot of people tend to go to these sacred places and dump all their crap into the land. So it's important that we have to remember we have responsibility to look after ourselves. We have responsibility to heal ourselves and go within. So me and Craig doing this grid work is going to rebalance the lands so it can feel neutrality again. It can feel beauty without the impressions of any dark things going on. So that for me is one of the honours being here, of doing that land work. Everyone can do it. You can go out there and do some work on your land, and I'd recommend that as well. Doing work in your garden, your front garden, impressing the land with energy, impressing the land with gratefulness, forgiveness, love, and peace. So what I'm going to do is today I'm going to just do a short meditation. So I'd like you just to get yourself comfortable and just allow yourself to breathe, and just closing your eyes. So what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to get you familiar with your sacred space, of what is your sacred space. So just closing your eyes, and I'd like you to breathe in through your nose deeply for 5 seconds and hold the breath. And as you breathe in, you can feel what is your sacred space. It's you. Just allowing you to feel, and as you breathe out, just relaxing. And one more time, breathing in now and counting to 7 in through the nose deeply. And breathing away. So when you are breathing in and holding that breath and using that breath work, just visualizing your inner kingdom. Visualizing and knowing that your sacred space is within you. This is a vehicle, the consciousness exploration. This is the technology which we have inside ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a 7-direction prayer. This is the first time I've done this on this show. So this is a part of a ritual, what I do before I go into any sort of sacred practice, to make sure I am protected on all levels and all layers. So I'd like you to allow yourself to feel oneness. Whatever oneness feels and perceives for you, I'd like you to feel that. And I'd like you now just to visualize the sunlight above your head. And I'd like you to bring this sunlight energy above your head and let it shine into your crown, the top of your head. And I'd like you to bring this sunlight in through the crown, into the head, the nose, the mouth, the teeth, the cheeks, the ears, the neck. And just allowing this sunshine energy to fill your chest, your arms, your heart, your legs, your feet, and just becoming this sun, allowing Grandfather Sun to fill you with healing, to fill you with relaxation, to fill you with personal power. And just allow that photonic light to fill all of your body, all areas of yourself, allowing it to relax as it goes through. And just breathing and allowing yourself to relax. You are safe. You are safe. So when I begin, I start with the east as I call to the eastern direction, which is the rising sun. Spirit keeper of the east, brother, eagle, raven, sacred crow, show me my dreams from the east as I call to self-clarity, self-rebirth. And just still feeling this sunlight energy within you, allowing you to recall this sunlight energy into your body as we are connecting to this eastern doorway. And as we are connecting to this eastern doorway, we are beginning the new cycle of ourselves, allowing ourselves to be reborn, and just breathing and feeling this change of self, this rebirth. So I'm now going to call to the south, which is where the southern seers exist, where the inner child exists. And just breathing, relaxing, you are safe. Allowing yourself to feel peace, allowing yourself to feel your body, allowing yourself to feel happiness on this equinox, on this change. Spirit keeper of the south, brother wolf, butterfly, be with me, bring healing to the people and to myself. Bring into balance the physical, mental and spiritual, so I'm able to know my place on this earth. In life and in death, heal my body, heal my mind and heal my spirit. Yeshua. Yeshua. We call to the inner child to be here, and I'd like you all listening to allow yourself to feel your inner child within you. And allow your inner child to hug you, embrace you, and knowing that you are parts of one another. The inner child is you. Just allowing the inner child to smile within you. Allowing to shake off any seriousness. The coyote reminding us, being the trickster. I call to the dreamers of the southern skies to be here, our future ancestors, our future family, our friends, our lovers. And now we call to the west, which is the area of our own personal dreams. It's where you pray for your own dreams to come true, for your own dreams to manifest. Spirit keeper of the west, brown bear, be with me. Show me the way beyond death, so I can heal myself now. We call to the dreaming body of ourself, the dreaming world, the dreaming mind, and we ask them to come into communion and union with ourselves, so we can have our dreams, our goals, our ideas be manifested with spirit action, manifested with the universe listening and hearing us, working with us at all times, allowing this feeling of knowing the universe is working with us, always, never against us, always with us. I'm getting this energy of clearing out clutter which needs to be removed from ourselves, having a spring clean on this equinox, clearing out and letting go of any files which need to be deleted from ourselves which aren't ours, and just allowing yourself to breathe and feel your power, feel your medicine, feel your blood. Spirit keeper of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers, grandfathers, ancient ones, come and warm your hands by our fires, and whisper to us in the wind, as we honour you who have come before us, and you who will come after us, our children's children. So when we are calling to the north, we call, this is a direction of our ancestors, our elders. I'd like you to allow yourself to feel the presence of your guides, your loved ones who have passed on. Just allowing yourself to feel their presence around you and having full trust that they are there with you in your space, on your journey. And the ancestors are reminding us to trust spirit, to know thyself, which is very important, to know all parts of ourself which we don't trust, and allow them to be trustful. And the ancestors are reminding us to heal the unhealed parts of our lives so we can grow, so we can maintain this balance and self-awareness. May we shut off the noise of the busy world. May we retreat and go within our vehicles of expression of consciousness. So now I call for above, I call to the stars, the sky realm beings, the stars, star nations. So what I'm doing now is I'm calling from above as well. I'm acknowledging the fifth direction, which is the above. And I'm calling to the sky people. As people above us, we have cities up above in the spirit world, rainbows. And we are calling to all of those guides and powerful beings of unity to be here to protect us. Just allowing more of a sacred space to merge so we can feel the dream world. We can feel relaxed. We can feel happy. Then we call to below. I call to the earth mother, Gaia Sophia, the stones, the crystals, the minerals. So I am calling to the underworld below. I'm calling to all the beings who exist in the earth ground. I'm allowing my feet to be grounded with this grounding light. So I'd like you to visualize some light coming from your feet going down. And this is your grounding light for your meditations, to help you be grounded and knowing the importance of grounding. Then I call to my personal energy field to be protected, and I ask everyone listening and watching to ask your own body to be protected. Allow this responsibility to be given to you to protect your own space, and just allow your body to fill with protection. Allow your body to fill with love. And I'd like you to just take a deep breath in through your nose, just count to 5. And with the intention of letting go anything which needs to be purged in you for this equinox in order for you to grow. And I'd like you to ask yourself a question in your heart. What in my life needs healing? What in my life needs my intention so I can go forward on this equinox? I'd like you all to ask your heart that and just listen for an answer. Just allowing that answer to be your own personal message, and just trust the answer as well, trust yourself. Just allowing the first thing which comes up for you, and just knowing this is what you can work with in this springtime. This has been shown to you through this calling of this direction, this sacred space. So before we go, I'm just going to send some light language, which is a healing language I do when I connect to my heart and my source, myself. So just allowing these words to heal you, inspire you for your own journey. Ishuli sukinela, ishuni sulekena, isuleka sukini, shilukuna sila suchimawa, shilukuna mawe sikuna silakana, shikune simawa silukuna wa, shilukuna mawa na siki, shiluna sikuna mawa, silukune sichimawashi, silukune sikana suku, shimawana ka, hilohuna shikune simawa shukana, silukuna mawa shikine, ilukuna sikuna sibawa. The power is given to us, and this is our own choice to perceive and understand this personal power. Our choice to grow is our ability to respond to what's in front of us, to respond for our own actions of self-discipline, self-awareness, and self-care. May we honor this healing space with gracefulness, with truthfulness, with integrity, so we can heal the minds of those who have lost their way by healing ourselves, by not stepping on their journey, but honoring ourselves by placing this awareness in ourselves, not anybody else, allowing this vehicle to be our responsibility, so we can find balance in the lands again. I now ask and close all doors which have been opened, which has been opened in this sacred space. I close all doors safely. I close all portals to anybody watching, so we are all safe to go ahead on our journey of inspiration, of creation, acknowledgement. And if any of you would like any psychic surgeries and like your own reading as well, I do a psychic surgery which comes with a reading. So if you want to go on to daletobin.com and have a look there, or the Healing Path on Facebook. And it's an honor to be part of the Awakening podcast and the part of them growing and us growing together. So I really honor you for watching this show, and I appreciate you, the gratefulness for having the energy to be able to come to the end and do the inner work, to choose to heal yourself, to choose to heal the world. Aho, I close all space or doorways, time frames, so we can go forward peacefully. Thank you. Aho. And I'll see you next month.